Hello everyone, my name is Wayne.
And I'm Rebecca.
And we are your Bourbon Journey. We have decided to close our eyes and do another blind. We were discussing what would be a really good blind, and we came up with this one, a Wheated Bourbon blind. Criteria is no lower proof than the Bottle and Bond 100 and no higher than 107, which will be explained to you in a moment. Rebecca, bring out the contestants.
Yeah, let's tell you a little bit about our selections and kind of why we selected them. I will also say that it started because there's several in here that we've not reviewed before.
Yes.
Including a Weller Antique. And as you know, that Weller considers itself the original wheated bourbon. So we thought, well, let's see how these others we've been enjoying stand up to the Weller.
Yes.
So obviously that's going to be one of them. But I'm going to tell you about them in alphabetical order. So first we have Bardstown Bourbon Company's Origin Series High Wheat Bourbon. It is 6 years old, 106 proof, and MSRP of $49, and we did get it for that price. Then we have Cedarbrook Wheated Bourbon, which is non-age stated. It is 100 proof. MSRP is $65, and that is also what we paid for that. We have a Holiday Soft Red Wheat Bottled in Bond, which is 6 years old, 100 proof. MSRP is $60, and we paid $65 for it. And as anticipated, we have the Weller Antique 107. Proof is 107. The MSRP is $52.99, but you never see that in Indiana. We actually bought it secondary for a pretty good price of $139.99. So those are our 4 contenders. We put them into sample bottles, mixed them up, he mixed them up, and now they're ABCD, and we don't know what they are until we're done.
Don't have a clue.
Now, just looking at them, they all kind of look about the same color, which is kind of nice, which isn't going to influence us by color or anything like that. There's a lot of similarities. I will say the mash bills are quite different. So that could really lead to it. We talked about, let's pick the one we like the most, probably. Hinted around we might do it, who stands up to be the wheated bourbon profile. I actually like them all, so I guess that's all okay.
and for full disclosure, when we were doing this yesterday and picking the bottles, there were a couple that we picked that we liked. Penelope was one, and the other one was Green River. And as we were discussing this, we
didn't want to do 6.
Yes, and that was another thing. But as we discussed this, we noticed, like I said, the 4 were within 7 points of each other in proof, and we figured it'd be too extreme to go from a 90 to a 107. Is Green Rivers, I think, was the lowest. So we settled on these FOUR here in the lineup. So we are going to go with letter A.
Letter A. Well, we've already kind of looked at it, so we don't need to really do that. We can look later and see if legs form or what else. Go ahead and do the nose. Go straight to the nose. What do you think?
Yes. Wheat.
I'm guessing it's going to be wheated profile. So
It's wheat.
It's got some sweet notes on the nose.
I'm getting a honeysuckle.
That's a really good call. I was just trying to discern what the sweet was, but I think more that honey kind of aroma is what I'm getting as well, and the floral notes of honeysuckle makes sense. Very light.
It's very spring, which is just around the corner.
And it's just light and fragrant.
It's a good one. This is going to be really difficult.
It's going to be really tough to pick one.
And honestly, of these 4, whoever finishes last, you're still a banger.
Let's go ahead and taste it.
Okay, cheers.
To
wheat.
To wheat.
Wheat. Get wheat.
Might be a little bit more bread note than pastry note for me at the moment.
I get baking spices on this. Maybe a tad of cinnamon. Almost a nutmeg.
I think the honey's still coming through for me. And it's, like I said, it was a little bit bread-like. So this is going to be it's bread-like, and it's got butter on it. And the butter is honey butter, right? So honey butter on a nice piece of toast. is kind of what I'm getting. And the legs are forming on it.
Yes, and that's what I was looking at here.
They're lovely.
The legs are pretty good.
And it does have a pretty good viscosity in your mouth. I mean, it's just really doing a pretty good job. And it's got a really long finish.
Mm-hmm.
I'm noticing that the finish is still happening while we're talking.
The finish right now is leather. I'm getting leather. I know a lot of people don't. I don't know why I do. I must have chewed leather as a kid or something, but I am getting leather on this.
It's just really warm. It's like warm spices for me on the finish, not very sweet, but I'm getting, it's almost like a little bit of white pepper.
And I'll say this, if this ends up being the 4th place finisher, I might just curl up with a bottle in the corner and just drink it and go to sleep. Oh, it's good. Let me push that out there, just kind of get A out of the way as we go to
Letter B.
letter B. Let's wheat again, of course.
I'm not getting the honey on this one.
I'm getting almost a tad bit of a tea.
Yeah, so still sort of a floral note.
Mm-hmm. It smells very similar to A without the honeysuckle.
It's not as sweet as A, I don't think. Well, let's try sample. Let's try sample B.
Letter B.
That is definitely different.
That's a lot different.
I'm getting almost some citrus notes on that one.
I'm getting citrus, and now I'm getting a slight bit of honeysuckle.
Mm-hmm.
The nose,
really different.
The nose and the taste are totally different on this.
Yeah, because it's like I'm getting the citrus. I'm feeling like it's almost orange-like.
Yes, I don't believe it's lemon, and I don't believe it's lime.
I'm not getting bread notes. I'm not getting like any kind of confectionery pastry notes. And I'm not getting any nuttiness. So I'm not getting any traditional wheat notes out of it. It definitely is sweeter. It's sweeter than it was on the nose.
I'm definitely getting cinnamon on the back side of this.
Mm-hmm.
This is a little, this is different than A.
Very different.
In its back performance.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
It's pretty warm. It's lasting. And yeah, cinnamon on the finish. And I'm not getting that white pepper feeling at all. So very, very good though. Don't hate it.
It's going to really be tough.
Okay, C.
Okay. This is lighter on the nose.
It's the lightest nose I think so far. I'm just not picking up a lot on the nose at all. I mean, it's light, airy, fragrant, but not specific. I'm gonna have to go ahead and taste it. Maybe that'll open up my nose.
I'm getting a little bit of baking spice. So let's see what the taste is like for letter C.
C. Taste different than the nose. The nose didn't have much flavor.
Well, butter me up and call me a biscuit, because that, as much as wasn't on the nose, it is there on the taste.
It's got a lot happening on the palate.
It has got a lot of wheat. It's got a tad bit of honey. They're all lining up with that similar wheat profile. I think there's a little bit more effervescence with this one.
Well, I have to giggle because you said something about call me a biscuit, right? Butter me up. And that's what I was getting ready to say when he said that. I was going to say, it kind of reminds me of a biscuit with honey butter on it, not the bread. Like last time, this one I got toast with honey butter. This is more like a biscuit with honey butter. So that different, it's got a different viscosity. It's got a different sweetness. The dough that goes into making that is different than the one before.
Well, Shanalama Ding Dong. See, we get finishing.
On the roof of my mouth, it's got that honey thing popping right there.
I'm getting a tobacco, like a pipe tobacco in the back.
Yeah, on the finish, it's definitely some barrel notes, and pipe tobacco I think is a pretty good call there. And I'm getting some almost nutmeg on this one.
I can buy that. Let's cleanse our palate. Let's go to letter D.
All right, let's see what this one.
Letter D. Oh, this is different.
Mm-hmm.
Confectionery sugar.
Isn't that funny? We said they were probably very similar, and so far every glass we pick up, well, that's different.
Well, the first two were closer. These two are not alike and not like the others.
It
Confectionery
definitely
sugar.
has that sweetness, though. It's probably, it might be the sweetest nose we've had.
Mm-hmm.
It's the honey again, though, but confectionery with honey.
To me, it's confectionery. There's a little bit more in there, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the wheat.
Go ahead and taste it. Probably has the most robust taste on the palate. There's a lot going on.
I'm getting sort of a tobacco, cinnamon.
On your palate?
Yeah.
My palate, I was getting Danish. So we have a really different palate experience happening.
I don't know. Maybe maybe it's a tobacco Danish. I don't know. I'll try it again.
Yeah, because it's definitely got like a Danish and a little bit like vanilla icing happening. It's got a little bit of spice going on. On the finish, I'm getting the white pepper and maybe it's almost like an allspice. I'm not getting the barrel notes you are with the tobacco or anything.
I still am. I'm getting like a little cinnamon. I'm getting baking spices. Almost borderlining on a nutmeg or a ginger.
Mm-hmm. Oh, ginger's a good call.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's your impression overall the first time through? I mean, I didn't dislike anybody.
Well, for me, the thing that does surprise me is I thought these were going to be really close, a lot closer in taste. And while I can tell they're all wheated, there is a big, big difference in them. And it's going to be tough to bump them out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you right now, it's going to be really tough. So let's cleanse our palate.
Mm-hmm.
What do you suggest here? Do you want to nose them again or do you want to taste?
What we've typically done with the blinds is go through and select our favorite aroma overall. We're going to go through and just see which of the aromas appeal to us the most. And it's not going to decide anything for us, but it's just more of a curiosity to see what we think.
I'm going to go a different order just to mix it up.
I usually go 2 at a time because I like to do single elimination then come back. We don't agree at all on the aroma. So, my fourth place, this is funny, my fourth place is B, and that's your first place?
Yes.
My third place is A, and that's your second?
Yes.
And my first is your fourth.
Yes.
So we don't agree anything on the nose. Let's come back and see what happens with the taste then, because if we had to judge it right now on the nose, we would have a really hard time selecting.
Yes. So let's go ahead.
We're going to go ahead and do a tasting, and we're going to fast forward, and we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so what was your favorite?
My favorite was B.
And my least favorite was B.
Okay.
Not good.
And then after that is C.
As your favorite?
That's second.
Your second place?
Yes.
I also had C as my second place.
Okay.
So we agree on second place.
Third is D.
That was my first.
And fourth is A.
And A I had third.
Okay.
So we're really off on really our big problem is first and fourth.
What do you suggest?
We should probably taste B again.
Okay.
Because that's your first and my fourth. And then D we should also look at again.
All right.
Because we were kind of close on that one.
Okay.
So let's just taste those again and see if we leave them where they are. All right, so we still agree to disagree, so which is okay. So I think what we're going to do, we agree on second and third, right?
Yes.
Because my second place is C and your second place is C.
Yes.
And we may agree on
A.
because we have it as third place. So we agreed
Yes.
on second and third.
So, and since
So let's pull out second. Let's pull
Okay.
out third. Let's pull out
pull
third.
out third,
We'll pull out third place because we're gonna be in a standoff on these.
right?
So we'll pull them out and just say what they are, right? So
okay.
so let's start with we agree that third place is A. This
Yes.
is third, right?
Yes.
A. And this is the A bottle.
Yes.
And that is bottle number 3. And 3 is Holiday.
Okay.
So this is our third place is Holiday. We also agreed on second place, right?
Yes.
Second place is C.
C.
All right. So second place was C. That's C.
Mm-hmm.
That is 2. 2 is Cedarbrook.
Interesting.
So second place is Cedarbrook. So we both had it second place. So now the tough thing comes, right? Because
Yeah.
we didn't agree on first, and B is your first place.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just talk about B. You want to just go with B? B is 1. B is Bardstown. So that would be
That would be mine. My first place,
mhm,
which means
that my first place, D is 4. I'm a little surprised. I picked Weller Antique. I'm kind of surprised. So there you go. I mean, who would have thunk it? So we didn't have a clear winner, obviously.
No, we obviously went in different directions, which was kind of
We
funny.
had 2 first places. These are both first place. And then this was second and third. Let's just say it that way.
Mhm.
2 first and a second and third. So 2 first place. And it's kind of funny because before we started this, if I would have told you what I thought I would pick, I would have picked Bardstown.
Interesting, and that's why I ended up picking. And I really like all 4.
Yeah.
I do like Cedarbrook, something about the McBrayers, and it has a really good smell. It has a good taste. So,
Yeah.
Finished second again in
Mhm.
one of our blinds.
Yep.
I find it funny with the antique being 4 for me, and
first for me because we haven't tried it. Let me share a little bit about the last when we bought these and when we last tasted them. It's kind of
Okay.
funny. So I'll tell you a little bit more about each bottle. I didn't do that before. So let's first talk about our 2 first place winners because we're just going to go with 2 first place winners. The first one is Bardstown, which we purchased it in December, and we also tasted it on a video in December. Now, it has the highest wheat mash bill that we know of. It is 53% corn, 39% wheat, and 8% malted barley. Our other first place winner is Weller Antique, and we purchased this back in May of 2023. And we bought it at Revival Vintage Spirits, so it's on the secondary market for about $140. We do not know its mash bill because Buffalo Trace does not disclose that, but we know it is 107 proof. So it is interesting that the 106 and the 107 proof were our first place winners.
Mhm.
So we're going to go with our second place, which was clearly second for both of us, which is Cedarbrook. Its mash bill is 70% corn, 21% wheat, 9% barley. We purchased it in September of 2024. We have not previously done a review on it, although we've hit that bottle pretty hard.
Mhm.
And it is 100 proof, and we do not know its age statement. Our third place winner is out of Missouri, and it is Holiday Soft Red Wheat Bottled in Bond, and it's considered a Missouri straight bourbon whiskey. Yes, they have their own classification in Missouri. It's 73% corn, 15% wheat, and 12% malted barley. We purchased this in March of 24, at High Spirits in Evansville for $65. It is the other one that is 100 proof, and it is 6 years old. So as you can see, there's a lot of similarities. Obviously, the Bardstown has the highest wheat that we're aware of. We don't know the mash bill of the antique, but it's funny that we picked the two highest proofs. So there you go. But they're all great. I'd recommend each and every one of these.
Absolutely. And I will give a shout out in one way about one thing with Ben Holiday bottle. One thing I really like about it, that is one of the few bottles that we have that's a screw top. And I'm very partial to screw tops. I think they do a good job preserving, and you never have a cork break. Yeah,
and I was fortunate to be able to we talked about FOUR Bourbon Women, but I attended one of their sessions at the Bourbon Women, and they really had some great information about how they manage their rick houses, how they're really planning. And I saw an article that I just shared that article recently on the 1st regarding that they are expanding. So very excited for them that they're expanding. We would love to get up there. We wish they were a little closer to St. Louis, but they're actually a little closer to Kansas City. So that's a little bit more of a drive for us. But we do plan to visit there at some time in the near future, in the next year or two. We really want to go out to Kansas City area and visit them. So, and then of course, Cedarbrook, we're close to our hearts.
The McBrayer family, and this is a nod to the past for the McBrayers with Cedarbrook, which was considered at one time one of the greatest bourbons out there. And this is the revival of this version of it. And they just recently in December came out with a single barrel version of it, which is outstanding.
Phenomenal.
And,
really good.
Much higher proof, 116, 117, 118 area, something like that. And it's outstanding. So I
love this. It was great.
Yeah. So I guess I'm going to lift the glass to my winner.
And mine as well.
Bardstown Bourbon Company. Remember, the husband of the woman who buys all the Bardstown picked you guys as the winner.
Oh, well.
So.
But I still love you.
and what did you pick?
I picked Weller Antique.
Weller Antique.
It's not a terrible thing.
Buffalo Trace, Freddie Johnson, and all of you gang out there. My wife sided with you. So cheers.
But we love them all.
We do. Cheers to all of you. Outstanding. And I will tell you, grab a wheated when you get a chance. A wheated bourbon is it's different. It's flavorful. It's outstanding.
It's just a nice switch from pace.
It is.
And pace.
Cheers and have a great day. And always remember to drink responsibly. Cheers.